Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, and the IYT. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So let's get right into the daily SPY, 66 million. But guys, the last 20 minutes, these candles are almost 5.2 million a piece. So about 11 million shares came in the last 20 minutes. If that didn't come in, we would have done 55 million again. So that's pretty much the standard new normal in this market, 55 to 65 million. This is after hours action as well, so we had a little bit more. But again, 20 MA closed right below it, still a bullish pattern. Targets are still the same, guys, 250 to 253, as well as this trend line around 249. If it gets through it, that's just more resistance if it goes up into this area. If this pattern starts to fail, goes back below the 50 MA, got a couple gaps to fill. This lower trend line is big too. This one will probably bounce, but if it goes through this one, then we're heading down to 228 and then possibly lower. So you got the pivot here too as well at 231 or so, but good area in here for a good bounce. Maybe we're gonna have to see how these markets come in and then play it, play it as they give it to us, guys. Every day we get a piece of the puzzle, kind of like chess. If you play chess, you understand. You try to look at what your next 5-6 moves are, what have you, or your strategy that you're trying to go for. So right now, up move that way, down move this way, then you got to see the pattern, how this thing sets up. But right now, bullish on the charts. Let's go to the weekly really quick. Weekly, same thing, just straight up here. Still consolidating though, guys, above this moving average, the 20 and the 50 and the 200. So nice consolidation. Has a couple little wicks on it, all red, but guys, great bullish pattern here, guys. Give me another 4 or 5 weeks on this thing, just chopping, maybe a little pullback, then we could possibly shoot up. Then we could maybe even shoot up higher. But 1 week at a time on the weekly charts, guys. We'll see what happens next week. We still have to hold this pattern up here if you want a little more bullish. If it retraces back a little bit, that's okay. The 20 MA is going to start curling up into price. Bigger time frame is going to take more weeks to do this, but we'll see what happens with this pattern. If it comes back in, closes below these, fills this gap, gets below the 20 MA on a weekly close, then you'll probably be heading down. Watch the volume too. That's very important on the SPY. Let's go to the IWM. IWM, daily charts. Same thing, guys. Volume was okay, a little bit more than yesterday, but a nice push up. We talked about this area being support. They did hold it, and they got it back above this trend line with a close on the daily. So not bad for a Friday. Volume was light. 93 cents on the day, 0.66%. Not a bad showing. We're back above the 750. Let's see if this was a short retrace here. Bullish pattern. Let's see if this thing starts to pop. It's got to get above these areas, this pivot. Shoot for the all-time high. Then you're looking at, well, trend line here is at 143.47. Then you're probably looking at 145 to 150 or so. So you got to look at that. So still above the MA, still in a strong stance if you're looking at it, from a moving average perspective. But yeah, and got to get above this red bar too where it broke down. Or other scenario, quick little retrace, drop down. Bearish, you want to get below the MAs and then we'll talk. You got the trend line, and then we'll see from there. But ultimately, 145 to 150. Then on the downside, 134 to maybe 133. If that, then you see how it sets up. Either way, bullish pattern, bearish pattern, see if it goes lower or higher. But right now, nothing wrong with the IWM. Weekly chart, same thing, up, sideways, above the MAs, not really giving us too much. Let's see what happens in the next couple weeks on the weekly. Volume was a little bit lighter. Keep an eye on that. Qs. Qs, guys, what a great push up, 54 cents today. This is the weekly chart. I'll start with this one first. Still a little bit of retrace, guys. We're into 618 right here. Let's see if it just chops now on the weekly, just like the other indexes. Let's see if this goes chops. And this is slightly down and sideways. So it's micro bearish, macro bullish because we're above the MAs. Still somewhat bullish, but smaller patterns, a little bit bearish. Let's go to the weekly or the daily. Daily, though, we did close above the 220 MA, guys. That's one big step for this one, and we kissed the 618. So on Monday, maybe a gap up, get it up into this area for the weekly puts. You want to take care of those, and then maybe it sits here for a little while, stays above the 20 MA, and then maybe the next pop up. 143.90 will be double top, and then you're looking at 145 to 150, guys. well, excuse me, 147.50 maybe, somewhere in there. But right now, 143.90. Double top, it gets through there, then we'll see where it's going. Still slightly bearish. Inside bar, a little bit of a retrace. Slightly bullish pattern here, a little bit up sideways, but we'll see if it goes. Good close on the daily. You got to respect it. Volume was light, though, so keep an eye on the 21 million. All right, guys, we did the weekly already on this one. Let's go to the DIA. DIA, same thing. We came below. We just, gosh, we're right on top of that trend line. Is that a coincidence? I don't know, but we did fill this gap down here for sure. Got the bounce up. Let's see if we continue up. Again, not bad. Up, sideways, still above the MAs, still bullish. Let's see if we pop. Now, if we go down one more time and start going sideways, then slightly bearish, so you got to watch out for that. But right now, guys, overall up, kind of a chop, chop, chop. Made a little bit of a float, just kind of a grind higher, and then does it come in and then set up sideways, come in again. Let's keep an eye on this one. It's got to go for the all-time highs. If you watch my videos, 215, 220, 225, 230 area. As this thing grinds, this one gets higher and higher. So, you know, at the end of the day, this thing hits 230. Wow, that will be amazing. So, still bullish, still above the MAs, nothing wrong. Light volume, though. That's the only problem I really see at this point, but let's keep an eye on it, see what it does next week. But we're going into the holiday. Well, the holiday week before the holiday, you have to look for that. Just like if we have a Memorial Day on a Monday, or if we have the Labor Day on a Monday, usually the week before it gets kind of quiet. So, got to watch for that. Weekly close. Let's see. Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks up, coming off a slight bullish pattern. Pops it up on the DIA. Came in. Nothing wrong. It did close a little. Well, no, did it close? Looks like it closed right on top of that high candle from yesterday. So still nothing wrong, guys. Volume was light on the week, but let's keep an eye on the DIA or the Dow and to see where this thing goes. Still above the MAs, just like all the rest of them. Still in a strong stance. Can't knock it, guys. I mean, this thing could go higher. So remember, 220, 225 to 230. Those are areas of resistance. This thing falls, same thing. It's got to get back below the 50 and the 20. You got this big trend line. That's going to be a big area, guys. It cracks that. Downways, though, I think it goes to the 198, 200, wherever the 200 MA is sitting. If it continues to go, then we go back to the November lows. Right down in here, great gap window. This would be a great area too if the markets start to turn weak and we start heading down. So two scenarios in this, you know, 230, then maybe 200 right here, right in there. That gives up. I still think we go to, you know, the Trump trade, guys. I think that's an old trade at this point. All right, IYT. IYT, same thing. Got a nice bid today. Came back, bounced up. Nothing wrong. Got it back above the trend line. Let's see if we get back above the 170.94, these pivot areas. And then you're looking at this double top here around 173.88. If it gets there, starts to break out, then we're going higher. This one, again, has to lead. So this bullish pattern above the MAs needs to start taking off. Okay? Sometimes these patterns here, right there, you get the retrace, and sometimes they come right back in. So be careful with the IYT. It had a nice run from 157. We're up into this area here. Let's see if it chops around. Slightly bearish still with a nice retrace, but overall bullish above the MAs. You got to look at both angles there. Weekly. Same thing, guys. Nice little push up from the 157.67 area, back above the moving averages. And now it's just a matter of, let's see what happens in next week. We did not close above the all-time high on the weekly here. Not the all-time, but this high pivot here at the 170.94. So that's okay. But you're still, you know, above the MAs here. Still nothing wrong. Up a little bit sideways. You're above that trend line again. So let's keep an eye on this one next week. See what happens on the IYT. Again, this one's still lagging. Let's see if it can start leading. All right, guys. If you like the videos, you know what to do. Go to StockBookie.com. Sign up. They're free. And you'll get all the emails for our trade alerts, live sessions, options, educational stuff, and whatever else we might bring into the market. So sign up. It's free. StockBookie.com. All right, guys. Thanks again. Watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, as always. God bless. See you on the charts.